All right, so good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome. So this is lesson 2.1. It's our very first lesson in this chapter. And ladies and gentlemen, it's kind of a simple one. It's just about writing equations, okay? It's about making sure you guys remember kind of how to transcribe either written word into an equation or an equation into written word. And that's basically the main gist of this particular lesson. So I'm going to skip through a lot of this stuff and make sure you guys understand and get right into meat and potatoes. If you need the notes, you can pick them up from class from me, but just understand kind of the concepts of what we're doing here. So what we're doing is just taking what we read, okay, and we're writing it out. So a number B divided by 3. So a number B divided by 3 can also be written like this. Okay, there's two different ways to do it. Is equal to 6 less than C. Now, less than, ladies and gentlemen, is the only term where you actually write it out of order. Okay, if it was minus or the difference or anything like that, you would actually write it as it is written. Less than is the only one where it's actually switched over. So in this case, that is the correct answer. Either way it's done, it's fine. Figure it out from there. You guys can see it's the same thing, b over 3, and then C minus 6. One aspect of it also to make sure is as we go through this, is that on the notes I put on the left-hand margin, it was add, subtract, multiply, divide. Please make sure that you put down key words like we just hit with less than would be subtraction, okay? As we go through here, it'd be 15, the equation would be 15 more than, so more than would be addition, so write that down in the margins. Z times 6. Now, it can also be written as 15 plus 6Z because that's how we write it, is, and then y times 2, y times 2 minus 11. So also could be 2y minus 11. If you have any questions, you come see me, but that's pretty much, this one here is a perfect example of going left to right. So 15 more than z times 6 is y times 2 minus 11. Okay? As we read it, we just write it. And if you want to rewrite it to make it look pretty, you can. All right, on the guided practice, ladies and gentlemen, you guys try these. All right, simple enough, just as you write this one. So it's 2 plus. 2 plus the quotient, which is division. Okay, a number, doesn't matter, over 8 is the same as 16. Does it matter what goes up here? No, you can put A, B, C. You can draw a banana, that's all I care. Just understand that it's a number of some sort. And the other one is 27 times K is H squared decreased by 9. If you guys have any questions about this kind of stuff, see me in class. But this one, these both are pretty much written straight across as you write it. Okay, so one big thing as we had talked about is in class today is understanding the reason we're doing this is to talk about word problems in general. So Lulu tells her little brother Jack she's holding 20 coins. I always try to tell you guys underline money or number values. All of these are either dimes or quarters. They have a value of this. She says she'll give him the coins if he can tell her how much she is holding. So what you're doing is we're going to write two linear equations, okay? One is going to end with 20, and the other one is going to end with $4.10. So the key philosophy behind this is, as we talk about in class today, is understanding that you need to make a key, okay? And a key is going to be, I'm going to use the X and Y values because there are two things that we have in here. She's holding in her hand 20 coins, and out of those 20 coins, it's either dimes or it's quarters. So we're going to label X as dimes and Y as quarters. And you may ask yourself, well, why X and Y? It's because today we're just writing. But down the road, we're going to be solving. And the best way to solve this is actually to put it in Desmos, okay? And then when you do that, you would just put X and Y in there. And so when you graph it, you'll actually be able to get the answers, okay? So what you guys have to do now is tell me, if I have in one hand dimes and one hand quarters and I put them together, what is that actually equation? Well, that equation would be X plus Y equals 20, okay? Because I have this, I put them together. How many do I got? 20. Now your other equation is going to be y, and it's going to be the same setup, but I had students today tell me, oh, where do you put the 20 in there somewhere? No, you don't, okay? This is two different things. This is coins. This is the value, okay? So what you guys need to understand is what value, if this is a dime, and this is your total value of money, what number is attached to a dime that is significant for value? Well, of course, ladies and gentlemen, that would be 10 cents. Now, it should be written as 0.1, but I write it as 0.10 so you guys see the gist of the thing. And then this would be 0.25 because of a quarter. Now, ladies and gentlemen, those are your two formulas. In the future, around January, when we do systems of equations, I'll show you how to solve it by hand once by doing substitution, but then I'm going to show you how to do it in Desmos. You'll just graph the lines, okay? And when you graph them, the intersection is your answer. And we'll be able to tell right away how many dimes and quarters that we have. All right, same here, state fair. I showed this in class, talks about 3 throws for $1, okay? You have 3 throws for $1. But if you get an armband, you get 6 throws for $1, and that band is 10 bucks. So you have to find a cost equation. 2 of them, as a matter of fact. All right, and in these equations, ladies and gentlemen, you have to ask yourself, okay, what are we looking for? Well, the actual answer in this is 1/3 x. Okay, so the original cost here is for every 3 throws, you get $1. So if I spend $1 here, how many throws do I get? 3. If I spend $2 here, 6 over 3 is 2, so I'd have 6 throws. So that's kind of what we're going for. And so hopefully you guys can then see for the other armband, with the armband, it would be 1/6 x plus the cost of the armband, plus 10. And as I explained in class today, this is very useful for, in reality, if you guys, for some of you that got an activity card, okay, if you are not a social butterfly at Williamsfield High School, you should not get an activity card because it's a waste of money, okay, because you would spend the extra $10 on something. Activity cards, I think this year were $35. And so as students in Black Hawk Days would come into me, I would say, ask parents, hey, is your student going to go out and actually go to sporting events, participate in dances? And if they said no, then I told them don't get the activity card because it doesn't make financial sense. So for you guys, it's the same thing. Think about when you're going to the fair. If you're going to spend like $5, do you need to get the armband? No, you shouldn't, okay? But if you're going to spend like 30 or 40 bucks, then that is when you would want to get this armband cost, because what happens when we graph them, you'll have 2 lines that come up and eventually they'll intersect. And at that intersection of X would be when your values are actually better. So hopefully you guys understand that right now we're doing it, but when you go on later in life, you'll be doing the same thing. You just may not be using the same equations, okay? It's learning how to do the consequences and trying to figure out how to best spend your money. All right, geometry, translate each sentence into a formula. The perimeter of a square, I can't write the letter S to save my hiney. So ladies and gentlemen, here's the answer. The perimeter equals 4 times the length of the side. So your formula is actually P equals 4S. I would make it look like 45. Take a chance, try this one real quick. All right, make sure as you write it, so hopefully you guys got this, but I'm going to write it as I read it. So the square, so I'm squaring a number, of the measure of the hypotenuse C, so I'm squaring C, is equal to the sum. So if I'm summing, I'm adding something, okay, of the squares. So once again, and it says squares, plural, so I know I have 2 squares here, of the measures of the lengths of the legs, A and B. And most of you recognize this as the Pythagorean theorem. You can rewrite it if you want to make it look pretty. But ladies and gentlemen, that's it. So hopefully you guys, and if you didn't catch that, rewind this video and watch it again. As I read it, I wrote it out. Okay? That's what you guys need to do. All right, one other thing we're going to cover real quick is translating equations into a verbal sentence. Okay? Understanding that as you read that, you just write it. 12 minus 2. And then there's a sign that's written here that we don't actually, we need to write out, times x equals -5. Understand, on a test, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to have 12 minus 2x. 2x, ladies and gentlemen, is not correct. There's a multiplication sign in there, so it needs to be 2 times x. Or it would say the product of 2 and x. Some type of multiplication needs to be in there. It's just not 2x. Okay? So please make sure you guys understand that. Try this one next, and then that's it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, hopefully you guys tried these on your own. So this is 15 equals 25, and then it's going to be times u squared plus 2. Whoops. I'll just rewrite it. Instead of erasing, plus 2. Okay, so make sure you guys understand, right, how you're going through this. Rewrite it out, okay? And then that was 4A. 4B, I'm going to do just the numbers, so it'll be 3 divided by 2 times r minus t cubed equals, whoops, not that equals, write it out, equals 132. If you have questions, come see me in class. Are there multiple ways of writing this? Sure. I could put the product of 3 over 2, or I could put the product of 3 divided by 2 and r, okay? And then you would put minus t cubed, or you could go t to the power of 3. Multiple ways of writing it. Just make sure you guys understand how and what you are doing when you do it. The homework was listed out. It was on page 81. It was 2 through 10, the evens only, 17, and then 51 through 55. You need to write it on paper, bring it to me. Tomorrow's homework on lesson 2.2 and 2.3 will be on Alex. So if you have any questions, come see me on this. Good luck, and I will see you guys later.